Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Storytelling Strategies for Journalists. Today we're talking Canva, all things Canva. This is our second workshop in the series that we've done on storytelling strategies, visual strategies for journalists. The last one we did was on Instagram. By we, I mean the New York and Michigan Solutions Journalism Collaborative. We're a coalition of news, educational, and community outlets who pool our time, talent, and resources to work on issues in our community. Since 2020, we've been working together in Western Michigan and Western New York and Southeast Michigan on issues of caregiving. Moving forward, we'll, as a collaborative, be covering solutions surrounding health equity. We're also dedicated to improving the journalism ecosystem, which is why we're presenting this workshop today.
Okay, cool. Hello, everyone. My name is Justice Marbury, and I'll be presenting how to use Canva, why we use it with Genae Shields. Just a note, fun fact, this whole entire presentation was made solely in Canva. So just keep that in mind when we talk about, a couple things that you can do. As Monica mentioned earlier, this is in collaboration with the New York and Michigan Solutions Journalism Collaborative. They currently have 16 newsrooms, 3 universities, 1 talk show, and 1 book publisher that they work with. So that's just some more information about them. And about us, like I said, I'm Justice Marbury. I'm the caregiving solutions reporter for the Democrat Chronicle. I have a bachelor in fine art, in photojournalism, sorry. And I'm from Rochester, New York. And some of my hobbies, I changed them from the last workshop that we did, are crocheting and my puppy. I just got a new puppy recently. And here's some hats that I crocheted. If you watch Across the Spider-Verse, you get the reference, but Genae.
Hi, everyone. My name is Genae. I'm the Business and Development Impact Reporter at the Democrat Chronicle. I also have a BFA in photojournalism, and I'm originally from the Washington, D.C. area. My hobbies currently include taking care of my plants, and I've been working on paper mache. I don't have any to show today, but I'm getting there.
So what we're going to go through today are what is Canva, why we use it, some examples of uses for Canva, how to make a flyer, which will include some links that you can use later on, and then we'll do some Q&A and how to reach us. Feel free to drop questions in the chat throughout the presentation. I'll keep an eye on the chat to answer them once we get to our midway question and answer portion. So what is Canva? Canva is a free online graphic design tool. It has thousands of design templates as well as millions of stock assets, which include like photos, videos, graphics, audio, etc. Why we use it at the DNC, we use it mostly because it's easy to use, user-friendly. They're visual, so they add a different aspect of visual outside of photo and video work. They're detailed, you can add a lot of information on them. They add creativity. As you see, this presentation is very graphic and it has a nice theme to it. So it adds a bunch of different creative aspects. And you can also collaborate on it the same way you can collaborate on like a Google Doc or Google Slides.
Some things that you can do with Canva is you can make social cards, you can make flyers or posters for events. You can also make videos as well as other things like documents, presentations, websites, and so much more. Some examples of social cards that we have used is this one here that was created by our social media manager, Marbury. Bill Walcott, a producer, he's also created some social cards that we've used on Instagram. We've used it for galleries, reel covers, slide posts, and Instagram stories as well. These are just some examples of covers that were created in Canva for reels. And these reels were created by Marbury, and the reel on the very end was created by Justice. So you can find those currently on our Instagram. And these are some videos and animations that were created in Canva. Justice created transitions for our reels that were shown in the previous slide, and our current Revisiting the Rochester Narrative Fellows, Terrell Brooks and Georgia Presley, created this video as an introduction to who they are for the fellowship this summer. These are just some posters that were created by Justice and I. The one that Justice created was for a block party that we had hosted when we were revisiting the Rochester Narrative Fellows. And the Canva Pro account provides a lot of really cool templates. And the flyer that I created, the photo was taken by me, but I was able to include a bunch of layers and cool different graphics.
So here's our midway questions. If anyone has a question, you can add it to the Q&A section of the panel. How effective and important do you find using social cards / title page graphics for Instagram Reels? Have you found it amplifies the effectiveness and engagement of your Reels? I think that, well, I don't know the stats because that would be a question for our social media manager. But I personally think that it does, because once I see a cover on it, instead of just like the, face, like the first frame of the video, then it makes me more inclined because I can read a little bit about what I'm going to be watching, as opposed to going onto the social media and seeing a bunch of random videos. Genae, do you have anything to add?
Yeah, I would say it definitely increases engagement. For the direction that we're taking our socials, I think it's really helpful for people to see more visuals. Sometimes videos and text are really helpful, or even if it's just a simple audio and you have little captions on a slide post, just to get people engaged and to share information without them having to read a full story.
Mm-hmm. How do you add layers? I have seen templates. Genae, you want to answer that one first?
Yeah, you can add different layers by adding different elements. There is a portion where we will kind of walk through the different things that you can add into Canva. But as far as layers go, you can add elements, you can add photos, you can add videos and text, and you can also organize it how you want. So you can decide whether a photo is on the front, in the front of the slide or post, or whether it's in the back, kind of like a background. So yeah.
Yeah, I'll add to that there's a section, like, when you are layering or you put something over top top of something that you didn't mean to, and you do like send to back, like that's a regular, thing you can do. But on Canva, they also have in that same section layers, and you can press that and it will open everything that you have layered on top of each other, and then you can move those around from there. So are the examples you've shown made with a free account or paid account? How much can you do with the free account? That I feel like the examples that we have shown are a mixture of both made in free account and made on pro accounts. How much can you do in a free account? We're going to talk a little bit about that later on.
Yeah, I was just going to add that the flyers here, the one that I created that on my free account. And then I believe Justice, she has a pro account. So the flyer that she made was created on a pro account.
Yeah, but I will say that even though I've always had a pro account, there's only certain aspects that are from a paid account that I use every so often. So majority of that could be made with free stuff. Why should we try to be aesthetic on social media? How does it help with younger audiences? I think that younger audiences are more inclined to just look at something that looks pretty. I've noticed that with like my younger siblings and like just peers. That I think that's the main thing. I think younger audiences just like things that look aesthetically pleasing, and if it's aesthetically pleasing, I feel like the clicks tend to go with that.
Yeah. To add to that, I'll say that a lot of like younger generations, they tend to repost things and as well. So they're really big on reposting things that match that aesthetic that they're going for, or kind of that are like colorful or funky. And so I think trying to have more aesthetically pleasing posts will also allow them to it'll make them want to repost on their stories and to share with their friends as well. So
after these last two questions, we'll continue on, but how do you come up with a design theme? That's a good question. I feel like for me, it depends on my mood, how I'm feeling, and also what the topic is, what the topic of the subject that I'm talking about or trying to advertise is. So I think for Genae, correct me if I'm wrong, but when we were looking for a theme for this presentation, we're kind of like, what looks cool, but also like how can we incorporate it to like a lesson, like everybody used these journals growing up.
Yeah, I'll say I think I try to make content that's relatable visually, things that look familiar, that brings comfort to people. And I think, like Justice mentioned, the composition notebook kind of texture is very familiar for everyone. So that's the way that I go about it. I also, again, like Justice said, I try to base it on the story that I'm writing, or what it is I'm working on. So yeah.
And then I've seen galleries that start with a social card / photo as the first slide and then goes to a video where the second image would be. How do you do that?
You can include videos in Canva. And maybe I can update this with examples of that, but Canva allows you to include videos, and then you would just have to export it as a video file rather than a regular JPEG or PNG.
So that's all the questions for now. keep going, and then we'll revisit some more questions towards the end. So this is the section where there's the links to show you how to use certain things in Canva and things like that. I will say that 90 minutes or however long this presentation is going to take will not be enough time to explain every single detail of Canva. So once we share this with you all, it'll just, these videos are really quick and you can just watch as many as you need to in order to, you know, refer back and work alongside it. But as we go through this part, feel free to open a tab of Canva on your own computers and just try something out. So.
Sorry, the tab at the top wouldn't go away.
No.
But these are just some examples of like mobile tutorials as well. And then
so here is what it looks like to use Canva online. There's also an app for computers and your phone. So we're just going to show you some of the details. Genae is now scrolling through all of the things on the side. So if you can go back to the top, Genae. So right now we're in the design panel where you can look at different templates, layouts, and styles. So right now these are templates for presentations. And you can also search at the top if you have a specific color scheme per se in mind, or you kind of know the type of presentation you're looking for. So you can search, see there's pink. You can search for, if you're doing a presentation on toy drives, you can probably find something like that. Baby and toddler toys, etc. And you can see that some of these are labeled as pro account things with the crown and some of them are not. As far as styles is concerned, they have like these easy little style packages with different types of text and colors. And then there's also, you can use styles from works that you've already created. So as you can see, there's that revisiting the Rochester Fellows in there and some of the examples that we've shown already. So I can create a style package out of that. If you go to elements, there's a bunch of different graphics and elements that you can add. That's what probably most of these stickers are on the composition notebook. So you can search different types of graphics you want. You can do, as you see, gradients, movable stickers. This is labeled designs for a cause. So there's a bunch of different graphics that you can add. Text is the same thing. You can search a type of text. There's also, they have, what is it? Heading, subheading, and regular graph text that you can just press that and it will create a text box for you. Yeah, so right there. And then Brand Hub, you can create a brand. Right now we're logged into the one that Genae uses. So as you can see, you see a lot of like the blue and the white and the gray, red for breaking news and whatnot. And it also has like the same type of text. So for the Brand Hub, you can create a specific brand, and then you can load all that stuff in there and it will recognize it as logos and whatnot. So then that would be made into these brand packages and templates. So if we wanted to label something Democrat Chronicle, it already has all of that stuff labeled in there. Genae, feel free to add anything if you see like fits.
Yeah.
In the upload section, you can upload different images, video, and audio. And another cool detail, once we get a little bit lower, there's an apps section where, yeah, apps right there. If you're logged in with the same account that you use for like Google Drive and stuff, you can upload images straight from your Google Drive. So you go to the app section, it'll open up your Google Drive. And if you have photos in there, you can just click that photo instead of having to download it from your Google Drive and then uploading it to Canva. You can just use it because it's all connected. There's that draw feature as well, where you can just write your own text and whatnot, highlighting. I don't really use that feature that much, but it could be a use for you. Projects are projects that you've worked on already and in the past. So there's a bunch of different things, images and stuff that you've used. And then so on and so forth. There's like a bunch of different more tabs at the bottom: photos, music, whatnot.
Yeah.
You go ahead.
Sorry, I was going to say, when it comes to including videos, the uploads tab is probably the tab that I use the most. When it comes to making flyers. Somebody asked about including videos in slide posts. This feature will be your best friend. As long as you have the video or whatever it is that you want to put on there, you can add it. So,
yeah. And then I was going to say at the top where you see the white, it says animate. You can click pretty much anything. You can click anything, whether that's the whole background, sticker that you added, or text, and use this animate feature. So they have combination animations, which, like, as you can see, they're changing as Genae hovers over top of it. That can change everything if you don't select anything. And that's what I use when I do the transitions with like the text and the circles. So basically I just layer a couple circles and then put some writing over top, and I'll use the combination because it'll type out the words and then move the background differently. So it looks like a full blown thing that I just, did. Genae, do you want to go and select one of the stickers maybe and see how that will animate? So, and the same thing, it's on Tumble, so you can change that. And you can do the same with text and everything. It just, I like this feature because then it makes moving parts with some of the slides that you want. You can just save it as a little video. You can also, when you animate, you can do it only upon entering, or you can do it upon exiting only if you want, or you can do it for both. So for when you're doing a presentation, and you can also change the speed, how fast it animates. I don't really touch that speed button too much because, but it's a cool thing that you can add as well.
I will say that any features that you see that has a crown next to it, that means it's a pro feature. So
yeah, just keep that in mind if you're going to use the free edition. And yeah, I think that's most of the things. I use the resize at the top near files a lot as well, but that is a pro feature to resize anything at any given time. So I would keep that in mind if you need to, or I tend to use some of the graphics for a lot of things, whether that's like I'm starting it out as a slide deck and then I'm putting it into Reels, or it started out as a flyer and then I'm putting it into something that you have to see on your phone. So resizing works for me. That's why I got Pro as well. But if you don't have to resize that many things, it could just be easier to just, make it over again or copy and paste it into a different thing. But yeah.
Trying to
Oh, website. Yeah. Uh-oh.
So like we mentioned earlier, just a few things to consider. Some pros of using Canva: it's very user-friendly. There's a mobile app, and it offers a variety of different design templates, and it's very versatile as far as what you can create with it. Some cons is it's very limited as far as customer support. You can only reach them through email. You wouldn't be able to talk to someone on the phone. Phone support is also limited. The mobile app isn't as efficient as it would be on a desktop, because just moving things around, it's harder. Unless you have an iPad, then that might be a bit easier. And there's also a limited file output, meaning you can't export into Photoshop or Illustrator. And that just means that you wouldn't be able to export it as separate layers. Once you create it in Canva, you can only export it as one sole file. So that's either a JPEG, PNG, MP4, MP3 video file. And so if there's any mistakes, you would have to go back into Canva and fix it and then re-export it, instead of just putting it in Photoshop or an Illustrator and fixing it that way. And it's also online only, so you can only access it if you have access to the internet, or if you're on your mobile phone, have some sort of service or connection.
Right here, we're just going to give you guys a second to read the difference between a pro account and a free account. I know it's a lot of words. I got this directly from the Canva site. So I can point out some of the main differences. The cloud storage, for free, you only get 5 gigabytes, whereas for pro, you get 1 terabyte of cloud storage. I don't know how many of you know the difference, but 1 terabyte is way larger storage. So you also get more stock images and templates with the pro account. Like I mentioned before, with the pro account, you also get to resize as much as possible. And another thing that I use the pro account for that I really appreciate is to remove backgrounds from images or videos. Sometimes I don't necessarily like the background of a logo, so I'll take it out if it's a solid color, and I'll change that to a different circle, or leave it as a clear background if it works better for the design. Sorry.
Yeah. I'll also add that there are certain design elements and graphics that will have a kind of like a transparent background on it. If you have a free account and you try to use any of the pro graphics or elements, there's going to be a little Canva watermark on it. And it just will make it harder for you to use those. So that's another difference.
Along with the graphics as well, while you're on that. But the pro account, there are certain graphics that you can use the main graphic, but you can change the colors on it. And you can use those same graphics for free, but you can't change the colors. So that's another thing to keep in mind. If you have a specific color scheme that you're going for, say you're using a graphic of like 5 people and they're wearing like a bunch of bright neon colors, but really you need it to look like, pale pastel, you can only change that if it's pro. Thank you. This is our contact information. This presentation went by faster than we thought it would. So if there are any questions or things that you would like for us to try to demonstrate, while Genae is sharing her screen, we can maybe make a flyer or something. Yeah, so a question in the chat or in the Q&A, can you demonstrate how to make a transition or animation?
Sure.
Mm-hmm. And while you set that up, Genae, I can answer this next question. How powerful are the visualization tools? What kind of data can you visualize here? I'm not sure that I completely understand that question. So if you can elaborate, then maybe I can try to get that. Genae, unless you, okay, sure, I can elaborate. Great.
I'll just duplicate this.
And then how do you make a graph/chart? Some of the templates have graphs and charts in them that you can just change around. There's a chart section as well. So you can add, I'm pretty sure, the data that you need into those. I haven't had to use graphs and charts that often in the things that I've been working on, but I'm sure that you can, you can add the data points and whatnot. That's great.
And you can also upload, if you already have a data sheet, you can upload that from Google Sheets or a CSV file for charts.
Yeah, that's another app that you can log into if you use the same Google email. Then you can just press that, and I'm sure it will just visualize in the chart. Okay, that actually answers your question. Awesome.
There was one about the animations they were asking.
Yep, how you can make one. So if you go, Genae, to elements, and you just grab 2 circles, or you can do that, and grab anything, to be honest. So you click the graphic that you want to put there. And if you want to click both, then just shift and then press both. I think that should work. Yep. And then you press the animation tool at the top, and you can just hover over them until you see like the one that you want. And then you can also, once Genae chooses the one she wants, she can go to the bottom and change the intensity of how it happens. Sometimes intensity and speed I think they use that interchangeably a little bit. So that's an animation. And you can do the same thing with text. So if you type something, these are you can press animate, and then the words, you can click the words and it will go like that.
I like that.
Yep.
And you can, again, the same thing on exit once you, so see.
You can also, looks like you can change the direction of the way that they come from. I think that's for the text one. It can, on exit, leave down, which is kind of cool. Let me see. Can you provide more real-world examples of how a reporter would use this with the story they're working on?
Yeah.
These
are,
go ahead.
I was going to say that, so where is it? Some projects. This is an example of an Instagram post. And so this was a quote that a reporter had gotten from somebody, and I guess this is the photo that they took of them. And so they included that in their Instagram. And then I think that this is the same story, just a different quote and a different person. What else? Whenever there is a grand opening of a new place here in Rochester, we make a post about it so people know. Photos. This is just the slide post that was created for a new fish market that opened. What else? Bill Wolcott, producer, he creates a lot of templates for sports. So this is just an example of one of their sports announcements that they had. And then here's another example of just a quick kind of breaking news sort of post. And then again, this story about LGBTQ senior housing, those get posted as well. And our social media manager, Modely, she will link the story in our bio. So if people want to read more about the post, then they can go click the link in our bio, and that will take them to the story.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think those are some really good examples, actually. Yeah, so they're basically, especially if you're using them for social media, it just automatically goes with, the story, or it has like a small detail from the story that someone's working on, and that will like just pair well and work better for social media instead of putting an entire, article or something. Are these charts interactive? I don't know. Let's
That's a great question.
Find out.
I've never had to use a chart on here.
Me either.
So I like line charts. They're simple. Interactive.
When you say interactive, do you mean like when you like have one data point show and then you click and then the next data point shows? Because that might be a setting for a presentation, maybe. I don't exactly.
Yeah, I don't think it's too interactive.
Yeah, there might
presentation sense.
Yeah, I was gonna say I think there might be more information on.
There are some interactive charts. So I guess the interaction just depends on which chart you decide.
Yeah, there's probably more on the chart information and the links that we have that'll go out to all of you.
But this is an example of one interactive chart. I don't know
what it's testing for. Okay. Can you explain why it's important to think about the social side of things early in the idea stage?
Yeah, I would say that social media now has become a quicker form of how people receive news. So thinking about social first, I would say, is important, because that's the quickest way you will be able to share your story once it's been written. So let's say I have an idea for a really cool story, and I have photos and I have everything written, but there's nothing that I could put on social. It would only, that would only give it the opportunity to live on the website and not be spread across multiple platforms. So just giving your stories that opportunity to be shared at a quicker pace, and more broadly.
Yeah, I would add, I don't know if I have anything to add, actually. Yeah, I think you answered. What are some social accounts that you all recommend we check out? In other words, who has their stuff together in your opinion? I would say if you're looking social posts, that I think that at the DNC we do a pretty good job. You can see Canva being used in regular story posts as well as our reels. Like I said, reel covers. In some of the reels, you'll see transitions made in Canva and things like that. Genae, do you have any other accounts?
Yeah, I'll say I've heard the Tennessean has pretty good social cards and how they use Canva. I don't actively keep up with their social media, but that's just what I've heard from our social media manager. And I will also say, I personally like the account Impact. I'm not sure if they use Canva, but just the way that they include photos and videos and text and just the overall design and how they share their news. I think it's what a lot of younger audiences look for, or I would just say, honestly, audiences in general, because they have a wide range of people that follow them.
Mm-hmm. And I'm sure what they create can probably be replicated on something like Canva.
Yeah, for sure. Mm-hmm. I would say a lot of their posts could be replicated on Canva.
Yeah. How do you transfer the Canva design from Canva to websites, social media, and other media platforms? So with the pro account for Canva, you can schedule out your designs to 8 different social media platforms, is what it said. But other than that, you can, those are the platforms: LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, Facebook Story, Pinterest, Tumblr.
Yeah, I didn't even know that was an option.
Yeah, other than that, you can download, or, you can print your design too. So that's pretty cool. That's a cool feature. You can download, and this is the formats that Canva mostly uses. They might change if we're not in a presentation format. But yeah, usually what I do, I download them as JPEGs, and that's what I upload to social media platforms. Or if I have to use something in an article, I'll download it as a JPEG, and then I'll upload it to what we use is Presto, and then that will go into the article. A big thank you to Justice, Genae, and Monica, and all who made this excellent training session possible. My question is this: if a reporter were just starting out using Canva in their work, what would you recommend for how they get started as simply as possible? I would recommend going to the home section, and at home, there's this bar, what will you design today? And you can search what type of flyer or template or whatever you're looking for. They also have the buttons at the bottom, which Genae clicks social media, and they have templates for social media. As you can see, the top ones are labeled brand templates, so they're already made for the brand that is connected to Genae Atlantic. So that's why you see similar color schemes and whatnot.
Yeah.
But yeah, let's start with the template. Go ahead.
Oh, sorry. I was just going to add that even if you don't have these templates that I'm showing available, I would say a basic format that I think everyone could follow is if you have a photo, like a photo for your story or like a cover photo, and then your headline, you could pretty much just have photo, headline, and then maybe just some colorful graphics or just small little elements to elevate the aesthetics, for lack of a better word, of the post. But that's personally where I would start: a photo, a headline, and some graphics.
Yeah. Are there any more questions? I know sometimes it takes a second to type them in there, but if we don't have any more.
There is also an option to create Instagram stories. So you can create the same social card that you create for a story that you're writing. You can create a Instagram story version of that. And Canva is really flexible in a way that you can edit the sizing and everything as even after the project is already made. So if you're in it currently and you just decide that you don't want it to be a post anymore, you want it to be a story, Canva will give you the option to change the format without having to go back to the homepage and open a new project.
Mm-hmm. Another question. Do you make Instagram Reels in Canva versus on Instagram itself? If I didn't express that well, which is better for Reels, Canva or Instagram? I would say I would just do the Reel in Instagram, especially if you're starting out. I haven't made a Reel in Canva. I know there's video aspects there's Instagram Reels that you can make in Canva as well. I did not know that was a thing, but I would say start on Instagram Reels. And if there's something that you want to add, you can just size the project that you're working on in Canva to the size of an Instagram Reel. And when you save that, and then you can add that to some of the videos or pictures that you're uploading on Instagram for the Reel. Did I say that well, Genae?
Yeah, I think so. And I'll add to that by saying I think these Instagram Reels that you see here, I think they're more so graphic templates rather than
like moving
Reels that were made. So like Justice said, starting in Instagram will probably be your best bet because Instagram has a separate set of resources that teach you how to make transitions or how to edit and cut videos into Reels. And then they show you real life examples of those on Instagram as well. So and there's also an Instagram Reels workshop that you guys can look at.
Yeah. Go back to that video. It's great. Genae, is there anything else that you think we might be missing that we can add to this conversation?
If you're finding it hard to have inspiration for post, Canva's really good about just typing in words and they will just try to give you templates that work. So this is just an example. I just typed in news report templates, and you can filter templates as well, depending on what it is that you're going for. So if you want something that's photo heavy, then it will give you, I can just apply that. It will give you something that solely relies on graphics. Sometimes it takes what you say in a literal sense as far as report. So just be mindful of what it is that you type.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it really does try to give you recommendations based on what it is that you're going for. And they have all different types of categories.
Yeah. I think that was a good thing to add. Yeah, I when I am like looking for something for Canva, like as I said, my title is caregiving solutions reporter. So I would like type in caregiver or caregiving or like, you know, stuff like that, and then some stuff will pop up with graphics of elderly people or nurses or, you know, things like that. So, oh, that's a good example of one to use. Change the colors to fit exactly what you need.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think if no one has any more questions, then thank you for coming and listening to our spiel on Canva. Yeah. Oh, two more questions. Oh, has AI been invoked in the app? Yes, AI has been invoked. There are, they have like magic resize, magic write, magic
recommendations for elements and graphics you can add based on your design template. So
yeah, so only a certain amount of those are oh, no worries. Only a certain amount of those are used to I'm blanking. Only a certain amount of the AI stuff is for the free account, but if you get pro, then it has like 4 more that they add on. So if you want to use more AI stuff, then it would probably be better to get a pro account. Do you have a discount code to apply to be paid? I don't have a discount code.
That would be nice.
Yeah,
I'm looking for one.
Right. It's $12.99, I think, a month for the pro account. So it's I don't think it's too bad. If you could get like your newsroom to pay for a pro account and then everyone just kind of uses the login, that would be what I recommend if you're looking to use a pro account and don't want to spend money.
Yeah, I would recommend that as well. See if your newsroom can get on the Canva wagon and everybody just use that collectively.
Right. Okay. Thank you for coming. Monica, I think you're muted. Oh, okay. Thank you everyone for coming. We appreciate the participation and the questions and listening.
Great presentation. We will send slides and video to everyone who registered today, and stay tuned for our future workshops. I'll also include in this, in your emails, a link to the workshop that we did last on Instagram Reels, because there seemed to be some questions here on IG, and that was a really good presentation that sort of links to this. So I'll send that to everyone as well. Thanks so much. Have a great day.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.